My love, if you're hearing this right now, then it means my heart never stopped searching for you. Even after the world tried to convince me to let you go, some battles are not fought with anger. They are fought with love. Quietly, patiently, painfully, and every single day. I wake up in a world that keeps trying to harden my heart. I still carry your softness inside me. My love, there were nights I almost gave up, nights when loneliness sat beside me like an old friend. When the distance between us felt bigger than this entire world. But somehow, your voice in my memory keeps pulling me forward. Because loving you was never a temporary feeling for me, it became my reason to survive the storms I never talk about. I'm still fighting this world, noise, the pain, the misunderstandings, the silence. Just for one moment where I can finally stand in front of you and say, I made it back to you. My love AB, don't think you truly know how many versions of me had to survive just to keep loving you. There were days when the world felt too heavy for my shoulders, when every street looked colder than before, when every face I passed carried its own kind of emptiness. And somehow, in the middle of all that noise, all that chaos, your memory became the only quiet place left inside me. People think fighting means screaming. They think strength is about never falling apart. But they don't understand the kind of war I've been fighting for you. It's silent. Invisible, the kind of battle where you smile in front of everyone, while your soul is bleeding, somewhere nobody can touch. Every morning, I wake up and step back into this world like a soldier, returning to a battlefield that never ends. I carry responsibilities I never asked for. I carry scars nobody notices. I carry disappointments that still echo in my chest, late at night when the room is dark, and there's nothing left to distract me from my thoughts. But through all of it, through every painful moment, there has always been one thing I refuse to let go of, you. Not because loving you is easy, God knows it isn't. Loving you has tested every fragile part of me. It has forced me to confront loneliness in ways I never imagined. There are nights when I replay your voice in my head, because silence hurts too much. Nights when I stare at the ceiling wondering if you still think about me the way I think about you, wondering if your heart still remembers the pieces of mine I left inside your hands. And, still, after everything, my soul keeps choosing you. You know what's strange? The world teaches people to stop feeling. It teaches them to become colder after pain, to stop caring so deeply, to protect themselves by pretending nothing matters anymore. I tried that once. I tried convincing myself that maybe I should stop fighting for something that hurts this much. Maybe I should let the distance win. Maybe I should let time erase you slowly. But every time I tried to move away from you emotionally, my heart would pull me back like it belonged somewhere only you could reach. That's the problem with real love. It doesn't disappear just because life becomes difficult. It doesn't fade simply because two people are standing miles apart trying to survive different storms. Real love stays, quietly, patiently, sometimes painfully. And mine stayed with you. There were moments I wanted to call you and tell you everything. Tell you how exhausted I've become pretending I'm okay. Tell you how this world keeps taking pieces from me every single day. Tell you how tired I am of acting strong when all I really want is one moment of peace beside you. But instead, I stayed silent. Not because I didn't care, but because I cared too much. I never wanted my darkness to become your burden. You see, people only notice the loud heartbreaks, the dramatic endings, the visible tears. But nobody talks about the quiet suffering of loving someone from a distance, while still trying to survive your own life. Nobody talks about what it feels like carrying someone in your heart, while the entire world keeps pulling you in different directions. I carried you anyway. In crowded places, I carried you. During sleepless nights, I carried you. Through failures, disappointments, and empty conversations, I carried you. And sometimes, the weight of missing you became so unbearable that I would sit alone and wonder how someone could feel both alive and broken at the same time. That's what loving you did to me. It made me softer in a cruel world. It made me believe in something deeper than temporary feelings. It made me realize that not every connection can be explained logically, because what I feel for you goes beyond logic. I've met people who smiled beautifully. People who spoke kindly. People who tried to enter my life while pretending they understood me. But none of them carried your soul. None of them looked at me the way you did, like you could see every hidden wound behind my silence. That's rare. Do you know how rare it is to feel understood without having to explain every broken part of yourself? With you, I never had to pretend. You saw the tiredness in my eyes before I spoke about it. You noticed the sadness hidden behind my laughter. You understood that some people survive by staying quiet, and maybe that's why losing distance between us hurt so much. Because once you experience a connection that genuine, everything else feels empty afterward. I remember nights when I walked alone through streets filled with strangers, and somehow every passing light reminded me of you. Isn't that strange? How one person can become attached to every memory, every song, every late-night thought. Love changes the entire atmosphere of your life. It turns ordinary moments into emotional landmarks you can never fully escape. Even now, I hear your name inside songs that have nothing to do with us. I see your face in random moments of peace. I feel your absence in rooms full of people, and still I keep moving forward because I promised myself something a long time ago. I promised myself that, no matter how difficult life became, I would never allow this world to turn my heart into something cold and lifeless. That promise became harder to keep after meeting you, because once someone touches your soul deeply, the fear of losing them changes you forever. I became more careful, more emotional, more afraid of silence. There were times I almost reached my breaking point. Times when life felt so unbearably heavy that I questioned whether I had enough strength left to continue fighting for anything at all. But somehow, thoughts of you kept pulling me back from the edge, not because you saved me magically, not because love fixes everything, but because your existence reminded me that there was still something beautiful left in this world worth surviving for. And maybe you never realized that. Maybe you never understood how much your presence alone changed me. You became hope during seasons of my life where hope barely existed. You became warmth during emotional winters I thought would never end. You became the reason I still believed softness was possible in a world obsessed with becoming numb. People look at me and think silence means peace, but silence can hide entire oceans of emotion. Silence can hide grief, exhaustion, longing, and love all at once. There are things I never said out loud because words sometimes feel too small for emotions this deep. How do I explain what it feels like to miss someone who still lives inside your heart every single day? How do I explain the loneliness of wanting to reach for someone who feels both close and impossibly far away? How do I explain that even during my happiest moments there's still a small part of me wishing you were there to witness them? That's what loving you became. A quiet ache I learned to carry gracefully. And trust me, grace takes effort. There were days I smiled while my chest felt hollow, days I encouraged others while secretly fighting my own emotional collapse, days I acted calm while storms destroyed me internally. But no matter how broken I felt, one thing remained consistent. I still loved you. Not the shallow kind of love people post online for attention, not the temporary excitement that disappears once life becomes inconvenient. I mean, the terrifying kind of love that survives distance, silence, misunderstandings, and time. The kind of love that becomes part of your identity, the kind of love that changes the way you experience the world forever. You know, sometimes I wonder if souls recognize each other before people do. Because from the moment you entered my life, something inside me felt less alone, like my heart had spent years wandering through darkness, and suddenly found a familiar light it couldn't ignore. And maybe that's why this separation hurts the way it does, because losing connection with someone who touched your soul feels different than ordinary heartbreak. It's like losing a piece of your emotional home. There were nights when I almost sent messages I never ended up sending, long paragraphs filled with truths I kept hiding. I wanted to tell you how much I missed your presence, how the world became louder after you, how peace started feeling temporary without you beside me. But fear stopped me, not fear of rejection, fear of vulnerability, because once someone truly matters to you, showing your emotions feels dangerous. You hand them pieces of your heart and silently pray. They understand how fragile those pieces really are, and mine was fragile. Still, as the world has a way of exhausting sensitive people. It teaches us that caring deeply often leads to pain. It punishes softness. It rewards emotional distance. sometimes I look around and wonder why genuine love feels so rare now. Everyone seems terrified of feeling too much. But I was never afraid of loving you deeply. I was only afraid of losing you. There's a difference. Loving you made me brave in strange ways. It taught me how to endure emotional pain quietly. It taught me patience. It taught me that some connections are worth suffering for, because they awaken parts of your soul nothing else can reach. Even now, after everything, I still imagine moments with you, Sybil moments, walking beside you during quiet evenings, listening to your voice after difficult days. Holding your hand without needing words. People underestimate simple love, they chase intensity, chaos, temporary excitement, but all I ever wanted was something real, something peaceful, something honest, something that felt like home, and somehow, you became that feeling for me, a home, not a place, not a building, a person, a soul, a heartbeat I carried through every painful chapter of my life. Sometimes I think about how strange human hearts are. We survive things we thought would destroy us. We continue breathing through heartbreak, disappointment, loneliness. We adapt to pain even when it changes us permanently. I adapted too, but adapting never meant forgetting you. There are memories of you that time cannot erase. The way your presence calmed parts of me nobody else could reach. The way your eyes held kindness during moments when I felt emotionally lost. The way your existence alone made this complicated world feel slightly easier to survive. You gave me that, and whether you realize it or not, people never truly forget those who make life feel lighter during dark seasons. That's why I'm still here emotionally, still fighting, still hoping, because some loves deserve endurance. Some people become worth every difficult moment life throws at you. You became worth it to me. Even during nights when loneliness wrapped around my chest like chains, even during moments when exhaustion made me question everything, even during silence so deep it almost convinced me to give up. I still searched for pieces of you in my heart. I still protected the memories. I still carried your name inside prayers nobody heard. Maybe that sounds foolish to some people. Maybe they'd say life is too short to hold on to love this deeply. But I think life becomes meaningless without feelings this real. What's the point of surviving if your heart stops believing in connection? What's the point of living if you never allow yourself to love beyond fear? You taught me that, not through perfect moments, not through easy circumstances, but through the simple truth of existing authentically inside my life. And authenticity is rare. Most people hide who they are. They perform versions of themselves hoping to be accepted. But with you, everything felt honest. Even the silence between us carried emotion. I miss that honesty. I miss the comfort of knowing someone understood me without requiring explanations. I miss feeling emotionally seen, because being understood is one of the purest forms of love in this world. And you understood me in ways nobody else ever has. Maybe that's why I continue fighting through this exhausting world, trying to reach you emotionally. Because once your soul recognizes something genuine, pretending it never mattered becomes impossible, so I keep surviving. I keep walking through difficult days, that carrying hope inside bruised hands. I keep believing that love like this means something. I keep holding on to the possibility that maybe one day all this distance, pain, and silence will finally lead somewhere beautiful. And until then, I continue waking up every morning, choosing you quietly in my heart, even when life gives me every reason to become cold, detached, and emotionally unavailable, because despite everything this world has done to me, despite every disappointment, every sleepless night, every scar hidden behind my smile face, there's still a part of me that believes in us with the same softness I had from the beginning, and maybe that softness is my greatest strength after all.